Christmas cup of tea. The log was in the fireplace, all spiced and set to burn. At last the yearly Christmas race was in the clubhouse turn. The cards were all in the mail, all the gifts beneath the tree, and 30 days reprieve till Visa caught up with me. And though smug satisfaction seemed the order of the day, something still was nagging me and wouldn't go away. A week before, I got a letter from my old great aunt. It read, "Of course, I understand completely if you can't, but if you find you have some time, how wonderful if we could have a little chat and share a Christmas cup of tea." She'd had a mild stroke that year, was crippled her left side. Though housebound now, my folks had said, it wouldn't hurt her pride. They said she'd love to see you. What a nice thing it would be for you to go and maybe have a Christmas cup of tea. But boy, I didn't want to go. Oh, what a bitter pill to swallow. To see an old relative and how far she had gone downhill. I remember her as vigorous, as funny, and as bright. I remembered Christmas Eves when she'd regaled us half the night. I didn't want to risk it all. I didn't want the pain. I didn't need to be depressed. I didn't need the strain. What about my other siblings? Why not them? She's their aunt too. I thought I had it justified, but then before I knew, the reasons not to go I so painstakingly had built were cracking wide and crumbling in an acid rain of guilt. I put my boots and gloves and cap, and shame stinging every pore, I armed my squeegee, sand and map, and went out my front door. I drove in from the suburbs to the older part of town. The pastels of the newer homes gave way to gray and brown. I had that disembodied feeling as the car pulled up and stopped beside the wooden house that held the Christmas cup. How I got to her door, I really couldn't tell. I watched my hand raise up and press the button of the bell. I waited, aided by my nervous rocking to and fro. And just as I was thinking I should surely turn and go, I heard the rattle of the china in the hutch against the wall, the triple beat of 2 feet and a crutch came walking down the hall. The clacking of the door latch and the sliding of the bolt, and a little swollen struggle popped it open with a jolt. She stood there, pale and tiny, looking frail as an egg. I forced myself from staring at the brace that held her leg. And through her thick bifocals, though they seemed to crack and spread her eyes, their milky and refracted depths lit up with young surprise. Come in," she laughed the words. She took me by the hand, and all my fears dissolved away as if by her command. We went inside, and then, before I knew how to react, before my eyes, my ears, my nose, was Christmas past, alive, intact. The scent of candied oranges, of cinnamon and pine, the ancient wooden soldiers in their military line, the porcelain nativity I'd always loved so much, the Dresden and the crystal I've been told I mustn't ever touch. My spirit fairly bolted like a child out of class and danced among the ornaments of calico and glass. Like magic, I was 6 again, deep in the Christmas spell, steeped in a million memories the girl inside knew so well. And there among the old Christmas cards, so lovely displayed, a special place of honor for the ones we kids had made. And there beside her rocking chair, the center of it all, my great aunt stood and said how nice it was I'd come to call. I sat and rattled on about the weather and the flu. She listened very patiently and then smiled and said, "What's new?" Thoughts and words began to flow. I started making sense. I lost my phony breeziness I use when I get tense. She was still passionately interested in everything I did. She was positive, encouraging, just like when I was a kid. Simple generalities still sent her into fits. She demanded the specifics, the particulars, the bits. We talked about the limitations that she had to face. She spoke with utter candor and with humor and with grace. Then, defying reality, a crutch and strained knee, on wings of hospitality, she flew to brew the tea. I sat alone with feelings that I hadn't felt in years. I looked around at Christmas through the thick, hot blur of tears. And the candles and the holly she arranged on every shelf, the impossibly good cookies she still somehow baked herself. But these rich tactile memories became quite pale and thin when measured by the Christmas my great aunt kept within. Her body halved and nearly spent, but my great aunt was whole. I saw a Christmas miracle. It was the triumph of a soul. The triple beat of 2 feet and a crutch came down the hall, the rattle of the china in the hutch against the wall. She poured 2 cups, she smiled, and then she handed one to me. And then we settled back and had a Christmas cup of tea.